What do you need?
These will do, True Alpha. I am waiting for more people to bring in turtles. This is a very large order of turtle soup, and it will take many more turtles than I have received so far. Fortunately, it seems as if everyone in Bree is pitching in. It is a wonder there are still turtles to find. T have not yet begun to prepare the soup. I am waiting until I have enough turtles for it.
Would you do something for me? Might I take a moment of your time? Could I speak with you a moment?
CE5RK at OEA, you did good work out there, True Alpha. You made it back more quickly than a lot of these so-called adventurers. Perhaps you would be willing to help me with something else? One of the little folk who lives up Stattleway sent word that he was eager to help me gather turtles for the turtle soup. Benegar Longbottom, he said his name was, and he's been keeping the turtles he gathered for me in his uncle's shed. Go to the village of Stattle and ask Grobo Dogwort if you can collect the turtles his nephew has gathered for me. Be sure to ask him in his house first, don't just barge into his shed without asking. Grobo Dogwort is a neighbor of Eldo Swatmage, on the eastern side of the village of Stattle.
Oh, gracious me!
Oh my. Are you here about the turtles? Please tell me that's why you are here. You assure Grobo that you have indeed come for the turtles, and he breathes a tremendous sigh of relief. Good, good. You have no idea what that means to me. My nephew Beniger collected a bunch of turtles and has apparently been keeping them in my shed. I went in there this morning to fetch some supplies for breakfast, and what do I see? WT turtles everywhere. They must have used their horrible little beaks to loosen the tie on the bag, and they have scampered loose. They are crawling all around the shed. Do me a favor and pick up the bag inside the shed, then gather up the turtles. Let me know when you have done it. I am so scared of tutu turtles I cannot stand to do it myself.
Oh, gracious me!
That's the turtle carrying sack, is it? They are in there? Oh, I can hear them plotting to escape again. The tiny little monsters. Can you imagine how horrible it would be if they grew any larger than this? Oh, I cannot bear it. They are bad enough at this size. I don't know what Beniger was thinking, keeping them in my shed. He knows how one feel about turtles. Sack to Grobo.
Goodness! Could you help me with something? Dear me, please don't leave yet!
A GT toad at eel, you know. I haven't seen my nephew Beniger since he left that bag of turtles in my shed. I hope the boy has not gotten himself into some turtle-related mischief. Return that bag of turtles to Isig Mandrake at his shop in Bree and see if he has heard any more news of my nephew.
What do you need?
Ah, you have brought another bag of turtles. Good, good. This is the one Benegar Longbottom set aside for me, is it? I would say I almost have enough tiny turtles to begin making the turtle soup. Not just yet, but very soon, I would say. Did see the boy not long ago? He said he found a place where he's sure to catch twice the turtles anyone else has caught and ran off to prove it. I told him there were no turtles to find at the place he described, as I have only ever seen frogs there, but he insisted. If you are looking for him, you can see for yourself, I suppose. He was going to an island in the middle of one of the Everclear lakes, northwest of Bree.
By Durin's
Sa
beard,
chasing this
won't
ye
you give me
deity
even a
come.
moment?
Management poor Toradan. If his words are true, his kinsmen are in great danger. This Mundle he spoke of before he passed must be warned. Now, I don't know exactly where this mustering cave is, but if Toradan warned Constable Tangle Rush, then Tangle Rush must know its location. Tangle Rush is a constable in Sthal, down the road south of Coombe. You will likely find her loitering about town center. Quickly, you must find her.
By Durin's beard, won't you give me even a moment?
SC Tyadi Seller Taida Sonnet Ermal, hail, good fellow. I was wondering if you could help me with a bit of a problem. It seems that no sooner did I set my latest blade out to cool, than someone stole it. I didn't see who made off with the sword, but I suspect it was one of those mansmiths working out at Thornley's. Their craft is nothing like dwarf craft, and likely their jealousy of my workmanship moved one of them to steal my blade. If I were to ask them about my blade, they would just ignore me. You though, by the look of you, are a great warrior. If you were to ask them about my blade, they'll be honest with you. How about it, can you find my stolen blade? Banned.
How can I be of service?
Lamb short of officers, newcomer. If you are here to aid me in my fight against the outlaws in the Breefields, one welcome you without reservation. My friend Lothar may have need for you as well.
Would you do something for me?
An Aina Ki Kana, my job is to guard Bree. I don't have the men to waste patrolling the countryside, but of late I've had reports of brigand raids near and around the town, so I moved to this location to keep closer watch. I need someone to look into these rumors, and I've coin to spare for anyone willing to help. There have always been a few outlaws in the hills and dales north of town, but it seems that recently they've grown both more numerous and more bold. If you can find out what is going on, it would be appreciated. Careful though, once, these outlaws would flee any armed man, but now they are more prone to attack without warning. The farm across the road seems to be overrun by the brigands. You could start your investigation there.
Just a moment.
Oh dear, it seems that I was mistaken. There are no turtles here. There is something Warcell. He looks around conspiratorially, and then whispers a single word. Murder.
Can I take a moment of your time? Can I take a moment of your time?
Siege. Semi it is seen at Gale. Maybe not murder, but they sounded very serious. And I'm afraid it won't be long before their plans come to fruition. Was crouching down in the mud here, looking for turtles, when two shabbily dressed men came wading out to the island. They looked like they didn't want to be seen and kept peering over their shoulders back in the direction of Bree. One thought at first they were here to look for turtles at my prime turtle catching spot, but then they started talking. And their words. Oh my. They spoke of a group that has infiltrated Bree and is gathering strength, watching and waiting. And when they are ready, they are planning a surprise for the village, one the Bree folk will not soon forget. Quickwit covers sharpening his blade. The serious-looking man said, and Twisted Garrett has all the rope we'll need. They left after that, but not before discussing the password the infiltrators used to get into their hideout. It's, "Another infiltrator is here!" And if you say it to their doorman, you can get inside and stop this before they are ready. Their hideout is in Bree, south of the High Stair, and their doorman stands out front. Stop them, Truelful.
What can I do for you?
What, a stolen sword? Stolen from a dwarf? I don't know what you are talking about. Please, go away, I don't know anything about it. Kenton mops his brow, nervously. Yes, I admit it. I took it. Please don't tell the constable. Please. I did it to save my family. See, a brigand named Nate, he told me that he would hurt my family, unless I made a sword for their captain, Blake. But I didn't have the iron to forge one, and I was desperate to save my family, so I took the dwarf's sword. Nate said that before he gave the sword to Blake, he was going to test the blade against the workers at the site of Thornley's silo, just before the graveyard and the Boar Hollow. If you find him there, maybe you can convince him to return Loafer's sword and leave my family alone. What do you say?
Stay a moment. Stay a moment.
ITNESEEE now, I want to set matters right. I do. And maybe you can help do that. See, like I said before, Nate said that before he gave the sword to Blake, he was going to test the blade against the workers at the unfinished silo site to the east. The site is just before the graveyard and at the top of the Hollow of Boars. If you find him there, maybe you can convince him to return Loafer's sword and leave my family alone. What do you say?
As you kneel to examine Nate, it is clear that he is quite dead. His hand grasps the hilt of a sword, but the blade has snapped off and is nowhere to be found. You take the hilt from the dead brigand's hand.
What do you need?
What? The blade broke, and Nate is dead. Oh, this is bad. Very, very bad. What if Blake comes looking for his sword? I won't have one to give him, and they'll do something terrible to my family. I need a sword to give him. If only I had another blade to give them. Wait, do you think Loafer would make another, if you explained the situation to him? My family is in danger. Could you please ask him?
What can I do for you?
Since when are outlaws able to afford such things as medallions? Even the constables don't have badges. And who is this Sharky fellow, anyway? This is very disturbing. Your find seems to suggest an organization that we haven't seen before in these brigands.
Can I speak with you a moment? Stay a moment.
I envy Ed, I hate later Neil, T have a spy among the brigands who may be helpful in divining the true nature of this Sharky. I will send him a message instructing him to come to a certain hill not far from here. Meet him there and ask him about Sharky and his plans. The meeting place is by a grey rock in a small stand of trees directly north of Bree Town. If my spy has no news to share, we will need to find another means of learning Sharky's plans.
It is an insult.
Another blade, he cannot be serious. I am already behind on other work, and now I must forge a new blade for Chief Watcher Grimbrier. Time is precious, don't give it away for nothing. My father used to say Loafer cuts himself off, lost in thought for a moment, then continues. Actually lost my father to brigands a few years back, wouldn't wish that on anyone. Bah! Give me that hilt. I must be going soft. I'll do it to keep his family safe, but he's going to have to do something in exchange.
By Durin's beard, won't you give me even a moment? Will you stop and hear my aggressive
Deity
tale?
Sesti A, slide Tyree Ohm, now I'll help that Kenton Thistleway by forging another sword, but with two conditions. The first one is that if the brigand doesn't come around looking for the sword, I get it back. Second, Thistleway gives me a hand and does some of the simpler work I've got piling up around here, while I forge the new blade. Here, take these things over to him to work on. The axe needs a new haft, the bellows need new leather, and the helm needs to be reshaped and reinforced. Take that over to Kenton and tell him if he gets it done, and I'm happy with the work, we'll call it even on the cost of the two swords. Now off with you, I've got to get to work on this new blade.
How can I be of service?
Of course I'll do this work for the dwarf. Here, let me see what he has sent. Kenton examines the items. All of these can be easily repaired, but I don't have the materials to do it. One hate to ask this, but could you help me gather what I need? For the helm, ask Foreman Rosethorn over there for a few iron straps for reinforcement. The bellows will need some new leather, and I'll wager that some flawless hides from the boars near Bree will suffice. For the axe haft, I need something splendid to set in it. In the past, I've salvaged small gems from old trinkets that I've found in the Boar Hollow to the east. There are small mounds of ruins there, look like barrow stones. If you search through the debris, you might find some suitable trinkets. D.E. to Kenton.
What is this world coming to? Oh, this is intolerable.
Bah, he wants iron straps. Kenton always needs something, he is straining the cost of this project. We have no straps in our stores. Here, take this old iron pot. He can make some straps out of that.
What can I do for you?
Oh, good you've returned. Here, give me those things. While you were away, something terrible happened. Please, I need your help.
Might I take a moment of your time? Could I speak with you a moment?
Be high AIA Ted ET. It's terrible. Blake, the brigand captain who wanted the sword, came and told me he knew Nate was dead and that he knew I had something to do with it. I tried to tell him I didn't, that I would have another sword for him soon, but he wouldn't listen. He said he's taken my daughter, Maribel. If I don't give him another sword, and soon he'll kill her. You must save her. Please. Get the sword from Loafer, then go to Blake's camp. It's in the Bree fields, up north of Bree. I'm sure he'll release my daughter when he has the sword. Please hurry. I don't know what I'll do if they harm her. You should bring a few seasoned warriors with you. Blake's men are ruthless.
This is unthinkable.
Those accursed brigands took Thistleway's daughter. This is bad. The sword isn't ready yet. And I know these types of fellows. They won't take no for an answer. They'll kill that girl. You'll have to mount a rescue and free Kenton's daughter. Hurry now. And gather friends. I fear you'll need them to face Blake.
I don't know anything, I'm sure.
We must be quick, I think they suspect something. Wait. What's that sound? Look out, here they come.
Greetings.
This is dire news. I suppose it was too much to expect that it would all turn out to be some minor brigand leader's dreams of lordship. Well, I should not blame you for doing what I sent you to do, though it is a pity you did not return with better tidings. Think I know our next step in this action, but it is a grim task I will send you to perform, or am I?
Would you do something for me? Might I take a moment of your time?
I Synthai Ina 8 Maim now listen here. I am not going to invite the aid of those rangers out of the wild. The men of Bree are capable of defending their own lands from the threats they face, and we will not rely on strange folk for assistance. This information speaks of the captain who led the raid on Dogwood's farm and his current location. We have a chance to strike a telling blow against these brigands and find out more about them. It appears that the leader established a camp within a thick copse of trees behind the knoll to the west. The knoll in question is to the south of Dogwood's farm. Let us strike this blow for the men of Breeland.
I don't know anything, I'm sure.
Thank you, thank you. I filched the key a while ago, but I was too scared to use it. Now with you here, I can use it, and we can escape. Hopefully we can get away before Blake notices.
can I do for you?
How can I be of service?
We have them now. This information proves that this Shaki fellow is intent on establishing a strong foothold here in Breeland. TT also tells us of their largest encampment outside of the Vale of Andrath, at a place west of here that they call the Brigand's Watch. The brigand captain there passes orders out to his lieutenants that come directly from Shaki. If we can get those notes.
Would you do
Hey.
something for me? Stay a moment. Can I speak with you a moment? Stay a moment.
Sates, Seta Otom, with your help we draw ever closer to shutting out this upstart, Shaki. We are closing in more and more on his location and the size of his force. We now know that the Brigand's Watch, to the west of here in the foothills of Breeland, is a staging ground for future assaults. The Brigand's captain hands out orders from Shaki himself to his lieutenants. Likely they are kept somewhere safe, a lockbox or even on his person. We need those orders. Head to the Brigand's Watch and get those orders.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Sire Enelt, Anteni Cadol, if you are going into the heart of the Brigands' encampment here in Breeland, can you search for the goods they have stolen from the surrounding farms and from shipments along the roadways? While Bree is not suffering terribly at the moment, it is only a matter of time before the current stores are empty. If the Brigands continue their assaults, then there will be no food, ale, anything to appease the Bree folk, and then we will have much more to worry about. Will you not look for the stolen goods while in their camp?
What can I do for you?
Oh, bless you. You've returned my daughter safe to me. I can't thank you enough. You've done so much for me, in more ways than you know. While you were away, I busied myself with Loafer's work. I had to do something to keep myself from being overcome with worry. No sooner had I finished the work than Loafer came over to collect it. He seemed pleased with it, even admitted that it came close to dwarf work. He promised to send me more work in the future. True Alpha, you've saved my family and given me a hope for a brighter future. I can't thank you enough.
What do you need?
Aragorn has sent aid. Nazgul, for more, were in Buckland. They rode swiftly to the east, upon black steeds. I was foolish enough to stand in their way, and they ran me down. 'T will heal in time, but the riders have left a threat in their wake that must be dealt with. I must ask for your help.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Hall Eet in the Black Rider's wake,
Might I take a
Creebane
moment of
have
your
taken
time?
roost. They are not the common strain from Deland, but a breed I have not seen before. Likely these foul creatures keep watch on Buckland and the Shire, or at the very least me, since they have taken to staring at me in the night. While the Creebane may see nothing of interest, the fact that the enemy has eyes here is dangerous. If we were to blind these eyes, the enemy would not be as sure in directing its efforts. If you would, dispose of the Creebane that roosts to the southwest, just beyond my camp. Even killing one Kraben will go a long way towards blinding the enemy.
What do you need?
Good, you have slain those foul birds. The enemy will not be nearly as sure in their efforts now. However, I still have need of your aid. I must ask that you do something in Buckland, as it was their horn call that alerted me to the presence of the Nazgul. Eh?
Would you do something for me? Could I speak with you a moment?
Asthentius Srius ears you say that Underhill is with Aragorn? I know of no Underhills. I was sent to watch over a hobbit named Baggins. I must assume that is whom Aragorn spoke of. That he is safe is welcome news, for my fears are somewhat allayed. It was late in the night when I heard the horn call of Buckland. Running to the road, I saw the Nazgul leaving Buckland at a gallop. I tried to stop them, but they ran me down. I feared they had already found Baggins. The four riders passed eastward towards Bree, but we may discover what they learned, if anything, at Baggins' home in Crickhollow. It is a cottage surrounded by a high hedge almost directly southeast of the Buckland Gate. If you learn anything there, return to me. What news you can bring me may help determine the movements of the Nazgul.
would you do something for me?
OERM Tal 7 Sag, at my employer Adso Haybankson is to be a blend of Bree culture and Hobbit sensibility. He asked me to employ folks to acquire items that will display the nature surrounding Bree to bring a lodge feel to the inn. I am prepared to pay those willing to do some hunting for suitable objects.
Hello, friend.
North and east of
Could you
town,
help me
between
with
the Brandy
something?
Hills and the borders of the Old Forest, you will find bears, boars,
Will
and
you
wolves.
give me a moment of your time,
Adso
friend?
has asked me to obtain a bundle of coarse bear furs, pristine boars' heads, and pristine bear corpses and wolf corpses suitable for stuffing. If you return these to me, I will pay you well.
Stay and have some tea.
Re-RRAE Paul Tierat hello. I see that you are a person who knows your way around the wilder parts of the world, and so the offer I have for you will surely make your heart leap. I represent Adso Haybank, an enterprising fellow from Buckland with a grand vision. A vision of building an inn along the Great East Road. He dispatched myself and these men beside me in search of willing folk to assist him with his dream. I seek mushrooms found along the banks of the Brandywine River to the north, mushrooms to fill and satisfy the belly with a bit of Shire hospitality. Be wary if you go, though, for I have heard tell of slimy slugs and nasty vermin in the area. Would you collect some mushrooms for me?
Would you do something for me? Hello, friend. Could you help me with something? Will you give me a moment of your time, friend?
PKPHADBS Sainair Alt Meme Adso Haybank, my employer, aims to have fare to serve men as well as hobbits. Trumrick has people looking for mushrooms to serve hobbit fare, the envy of the Four Farthings. The fare for men comes from the bountiful boars and bears prowling the Bree fields. You should find the boars and bears north and east of the gates of Backland between the Brandy Hills and the borders of the Old Forest. Gather some meat, then return to me.
A lovely day, isn't it?
Hello, hello. You have come all the way here from Barliman Butterbur? He is a sweet dear to think of us hobbits, so far away as he is. He must have heard about the troubling goings-on in the Old Forest, I imagine. If you are willing to help on that score, there will be plenty to do.
Could I take a moment of your time?
Oh, gracious me!
What? Who? I don't have it. Oh, wait, you aren't one of those black riders. I must tell you that I haven't been so frightened in my life. Did they learn anything from me? Well, those riders came busting into the house, but I had already slipped out the back way. Not a thing did they get from me. When the sheriffs came, they made me tell them about Frodo and the others going off into the Old Forest, but I didn't say a thing about the enemies. Oh, dear. I mean, what is that? It sounds like crows.
Might I speak with you a moment?
EECTTEEAE. If you're wanting to travel freely about the Shire, you'll want to talk to the second sheriff, Bodo Bunce. See, folk here in the Shire, they don't take to strangers much. Lot of queer folk trapping through here recently. Now though, if Bunce lets you join the Bounders, well then I'll wager you'd find a warmer welcome. You can find Bunce near Town Hall in Michel Delving. That's a ways west of here. Good luck to you, stranger.
What can I do for you?
Adso will be pleased with this delivery. We will salt and smoke the meat, and it will serve as the center of our food for men within the inn. Thank you for taking the time to collect this meat for me. Here, you have earned this reward.
How can I be of service?
These are excellent samples. I am certain that the taxidermist can make these into fine items befitting a lodge. Adso will be quite pleased. Here is your payment, and thank you for your assistance.
A lovely day, isn't it?
Look at all this bountiful fare. You certainly held up your end of the bargain well, friend. I shall do the same. The ovens at the inn will smell like the finest ovens in all the Shire. This is a fine day.
Hello there. Might I speak with you a moment? Hello.
Trumrick Ragwort needs a wagon? I suppose I could spare a wagon and a couple of mules to share the load towards the camp. Trumrick is a good fellow and will surely return them when he is done. With the trouble we are seeing in the old forest, it seems unlikely that I will have need of all my wagons in the foreseeable future. Tell Trumrick that I will send along a driver, 2 mules, and a wagon by sundown on the Matro. I should expect that he can have it back to me within a week, and if you are looking to help out around here there is plenty to do.
Might I have a word with you?
Osee sa omen, these are strange days.
How do you do?
Most hobbits stay away from the old forest, but my living depends on it, and I've never had any problems, till now. The forest creatures have all gone strange. I swear the tree roots themselves moved to trip me up, and now I've sprained my ankle. Still need to collect some mushrooms, they grow in the west part of the forest, between the bonfire glade and Bald Hill. Also, please bring in some lumber from my seasoning pile. The pile is to the east past the bonfire glade and a little south.
Good day.
And I need some sap from the old maple on Bald Hill, east of the bonfire glade. TL gladly split my fee with you. Here, take my bucket for the sap, and thank you kindly.
Good day.
You have done so much, I think that it is time to meet the hobbit you have been helping, Adso Haybank. You will find that he is a caring fellow with much on his mind. His camp is difficult to miss as the work is happening right along the roadside. You will travel east along the Great East Road for some distance, about halfway to Bree, before you arrive. When you get there, you should be welcomed. Thank you again, True Alpha.
The Yule Festival is a time of celebration and merriment. Come and join the festivities in Frost Bluff and drink, eat, and be merry. Happy Yule! This is a repeatable quest that you have never completed. 2.
What do you need?
The enemy's ring. It is no wonder Aragorn was so secretive as to why the enemy was seeking Baggins. If the Creebane heard Fredegar's words, the enemy will know for certain that the ring is no longer in the Shire, and all will be lost. Finding those birds in the old forest will not be a simple task. I would ask that you return to Aragorn and Bree and seek his counsel on how to find these foul birds.